I wasn't expecting those pictures and photographs, but thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Reddy. I was just also wondering this light if it's going to show my bald spots, but looks like it isn't. Thank you. Dr. Nagesh Reddy garu, to all the friends in the gathering, distinguished audience from various parts of India and I think some other parts of the world as well, to my friends from media. Firstly, before I go into my formal speech, let me place on record my gratitude, my sincere appreciation toward Dr. Nagesh Reddy garu. And whenever I say something, I actually mean it from the bottom of my heart. I am not saying this because he's invited me. This is the first time I'm at AIG, not as a patient but as a guest. So I have to ensure that I say a few words which I truly mean. Firstly, I know Dr. Reddy as one of the most eminent gastroenterologists, endoscopists in the world. He's one of the most renowned. In fact, I've had a couple of chief ministers, I'm not naming names, I've had a couple of chief ministers call me seeking his time, saying, listen, I have a patient who needs his time, so please why don't you get me Dr. Reddy's appointment and please ensure that my patient, my attendant, my person, my family member is taken good care of. So I told the Honorable Chief Minister that you should not worry about that at all. Dr. Reddy treats everybody equally. And when I say this, I say it with utmost sincerity because I remember when COVID hit us, it was an unprecedented crisis for the governments, for hospitals, for the medical fraternity, for people at large, for humanity at large, for the world at large. And one of the outstanding hospitals in Hyderabad that shone like nobody else is AIG under Dr. Reddy. And I say this because I remember very well. I'm very active on social media. I used to, because that was a time where you couldn't go out, where you couldn't meet people in person. So I was trying my best to ensure that we respond to people's concerns, to their grievances, to ensure that their voices are heard, or at least understand what's going on in the world. Because during COVID, I think most of the doctors here would agree with me. During COVID, everybody became a doctor. Everybody knew everything. Everybody was reading up. Everybody was looking up. Everybody was asking their doctors what a steroid would do, or what a, in fact, even all the politicians started speaking, uttering all the complicated words, all the complicated medicines, Even we started calling up pharmaceutical companies and saying, when are you going to give me the remdesivir that otherwise I would have never in my life ever pronounced remdesivir, right? So during COVID, the reason why I say AIG shone like nobody else is because I remember very well when the rest of Hyderabad, I don't want to name names, was charging exorbitant amounts, rest of Hyderabad's hospitals were charging exorbitant amounts. Dr. Reddy, without a question, I think led by example and ensured that patients were not exploited, and that shows the hallmark of a great leader. My compliments to you, sir. My compliments to you on that. And secondly, I was here for a couple of days recently. I stayed overnight actually. Of course, Dr. Reddy takes a lot of pride in this facility. He gave me a tour very kindly, took time out, gave me a tour of the place, showed me what all he has done and what all in fact he's imbibed, some of the best practices from across the world. He was taking great pride in telling me how he kind of decongested his reception area, and he ensured that the people's flow, almost 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people, how they could be accommodated, the ground, at the lower ground, at the upper ground levels, and how neatly they were done. The travelators inside the hospital, etc., are one of its kind. But what impressed me the most was not the travelators, was not how beautifully it is designed, not even how many plants he's gotten from so many other parts of the world, none of that. What impressed me the most was, one day he walks in at 11:30 p.m. in the night, and he was basically giving me advice and telling me, what needs to be done, etc., etc. Next morning at 6:30, once again he's back in the hospital. I said, did you get some sleep? He said, yeah, I need 3 hours of sleep. I said, okay, you have to tell me what you're drinking, what you're eating, because I need that too. Because if you're able to sustain a long day with 3 hours of sleep, I think that's astounding. The work ethic of this man, Dr. Nagesh Reddy, is something that the world can certainly learn from, imbibe from. My compliments to you, sir. pulling 16, 17-hour day. And I think the theme of this session is not only women in medicine, but work-life balance or something. I'm guessing you don't have much of a work-life balance, sir. I think you work all the time, and I think the kudos to you for your work ethic and for what you've built here. And the third thing, and I'll leave it at this because otherwise it will sound like this is a mutual admiration society. But the third thing I'll tell you, he told me, one of the richest businessmen in India had visited this hospital privately. He was here, I don't want to name names. He took a tour of the place. He was supposed to stay for 1 hour. He ended up staying for 4 hours. And end of the entire tour, he offers Dr. Reddy a check. He says, this is far more impressive than I thought it was. I'm going to write a check to you, a few thousand crores. And Dr. Reddy refused it flat. He said, I haven't built this for commercial purposes. I have built this facility to ensure that research and development happens. I have not built this with a profit motive. So therefore, my kudos to you, sir, on building a world-class facility in our city, in Hyderabad. And I'm also told that Newsweek has rated you as one, and they say this entire facility as one among the best gastroenterology facilities in the world. Top 3, I think it is. So my compliments to the entire family of AIG, because it can't be just one man doing it, it's the entire team. So my compliments. Now, of course, I'm extremely pleased to be here. When he asked me a month ago, I said I'd absolutely be here. And I've cancelled one meeting to be here, sir, I have to tell you that. Because it was getting too much. There were like 5 events and I had to cancel one. But I'm glad to be here. But then I was asking myself, neither am I a woman nor am I in medicine. So what am I doing here? So I asked him, I said, what am I doing here? What am I supposed to speak? He simply said, give us an outsider's perspective on what needs to be done, what possibly, we can't see. When you're inside the profession, if you're a doctor or even if you're a woman, you probably end up, with a tunnel vision. So probably giving an outsider's perspective and trying to give you a sense of what I think is happening across the world is what I would love to do today. Medicine has always been looked up to as one of the noblest professions across the world. In fact, even today when I speak to my daughter, who's 13, and when I ask her, what is it that you want to do? I think many fathers, many parents, in fact, in India especially, have had this, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, have had this thing, where you want your son to be an engineer and your daughter to be a doctor. I think that is how it has been. But my mother, I have to tell you, a little story, an anecdotal one. My mother always wanted me to be a doctor. She was insisting, she was actually very passionate about it. She's always said, there isn't a single doctor in the family, you should actually become a doctor. I ended up taking biology. I eventually ended up as a biotechnologist, that's a different story. Back in 91, when I was in my +2, I studied reasonably well. I don't think I'm a top of the class student, but I was a above average student, let me put it that way. And back in that day, we had MSET. Now I think it's NEET. Back in that day, it was MSET. So right after I finished my +2, I only could garner a 1600 rank. I wasn't one of those top students who could get into the top 100 or 200. So I ended up getting only B Pharmacy, and I could have possibly gotten agriculture or something. I didn't want to do that. Then I actually went to Karnataka, took that entrance test. Now what happened is, of course, in Karnataka there were many more medical colleges. The private medical college system is far more robust, so I got in there. In fact, I got in some of the best colleges in Karnataka. But my father is a very persuasive man. He can convince you, to basically do anything he wants. Right? So when I came and told him that I got through this entrance test in Karnataka and I'm going to join medicine in Karnataka, he told me, do you know how many years the doctors, kind of takes to settle into life? I said, I have no clue. My mom wanted me to be a doctor, so I'm going to be a doctor. He said, you'll be 32 or 33 by the time you complete your graduation, post-graduation, super specialization and a bunch of other things. And then for the rest of your life, you could be called at 12 in the midnight, for an emergency, and you'll have to run. So there won't be much of a work-life balance. He kind of basically stressed me out by saying all that. I said, okay, if that is the case, I'm not doing it. I'd rather do something else. So that's how I ended up not being a doctor, is where I'm going with this. But I do believe sincerely, because each and every time some family member of mine had an emergency, the kind of admiration, the kind of respect in that movement, in that moment, any person would have toward the doctor that treats you is something that is unquantifiable, immeasurable, and that kind of gratitude, that kind of amazement with which we look at you, all the people engaged in this noble profession, is that cannot be summed up in words. So my compliments to you, because these are all intangibles. Now I am the Minister for Municipal Administration. I keep telling my team, that अगर हैदराबाद को हम लोग हर दिन साफ रखते हैं, हर दिन अगर साफ सुथरा रखते हैं, कोई हमें कॉम्प्लीमेंट नहीं देता है, कोई भी हमें तारीफ नहीं करता है, बट 4 दिन छोड़ दो, इतना गाली मिलता है. Same applies to you guys also. You treat a patient very well, you'll just be given a thanks. You'll just be told, you've done a great job, thank you very much. But that 1 out of the 1,000 mess ups will get you such flack that you will never ever forget for the rest of your life. That is the profession that you've chosen, unfortunately or fortunately. So therefore, it is a thankless job, but I think this is one opportunity that I would like to take to thank this entire brilliant team of medical professionals assembled here. Thank you very much on behalf of the people of Telangana, of all of us non-medical professionals. In the past few years, of course, India has made tremendous advancements in the field of medicine. Many of our doctors, like Dr. Reddy here, have made their mark on the international arena. I know Dr. Reddy also travels quite a bit. He travels, I think, to at least a few countries every month. A noble profession like medicine, of course, can play a pivotal role in breaking the boundaries of gender bias as well. Although historically it has been a male-dominated field, many extraordinary women also have paved way as pioneers in healthcare. One such path-breaking personality was Dr. Anandibal Joshi, who was the first female Indian physician and the first Indian woman to have gained a degree in Western medicine in the late 1800s. Another example, of course, is Dr. V. Shanta, an oncologist who was awarded Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan awards for her efforts in improving accessibility of affordable cancer treatment. And of course, we have our own Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, who was omnipresent during COVID, the pediatrician who was at the helm of World Health Organization as a chief scientist during COVID-19 pandemic. Talking about the pandemic, I must also use this opportunity to mention that 2 of the 3 companies that have developed indigenous COVID-19 vaccines in India are from the city of Hyderabad, and both of them have women as their leaders in the driver's seat. Suchitra Ella of Bharat Biotech and of course Mahima Bapla of Biological Advance, both are outstanding women leaders in healthcare and medicine who have contributed tremendously to the vaccine industry and to the biotechnology industry in India and abroad. The list of women who have made strides in the field of healthcare goes on. There's plenty of very, very talented doctors and medical professionals across the globe and across India now also. Today, our healthcare systems are rapidly transforming as they embrace digital technologies. Women can play an important role in this evolution, not only as medical professionals, but also in the field of AI, big data, and data digitization, which aid in smarter decision making. As a state with leadership position in technology and also life sciences, broadly, of course, healthcare, we are thrilled about the opportunities presented by the new areas of medicine and biomedical technologies. I keep saying this very often. I keep saying that Hyderabad is neither north of India nor south of India. In fact, Hyderabad is where the north of India meets the south of India. Hyderabad is where paratha meets dosa. Hyderabad is where biology meets technology. Hyderabad is where data sciences marries life sciences. Hyderabad is where Mangoverse meets Metaverse. Hyderabad is that beautiful melting pot where the confluence of these technologies can be leveraged to the greater good of humanity, greater good of healthcare advancements in today's world. Honorable Chief Minister of Telangana, Shri KTR Garu, he always tells us one thing. Whenever I talk to him about fancy new technology, he only has one question. He asks, what is the societal good that can be accomplished by way of this new technology? When I talk to him about AI, artificial intelligence or machine learning or robotics, the one question he says is, what is the advantage to society, what is the advantage to the common man on the ground by way of this technology? And he also says, any technology that does not have a positive societal impact
is futile. However advanced or cool it is, it may not be of use unless it is put to greater good, it is used to greater good. Now we have embarked on an ambitious mission to create health profiles, digital health profiles of more than 40 million citizens of Telangana. Now this is one unique effort in Telangana that I am super proud of, because this brings about the convergence of medicine and technology. And in fact, as a pilot state, I've chosen my district, Rajana Sirsila, to have done this. Now a lot of people think and ask, why are you doing it? What is it that you're wanting to accomplish by way of this? What we are trying to accomplish by way of building electronic medical record of each and every citizen is, for instance, when we've completed the pilot in my district, my district has about 422,000 adults who are above the age of 18. So we've conducted different kinds of tests. We've taken the usual metrics, studied the vitals, and now have built the entire digital health profile. What we've realized in my district is that there is a heavy prevalence of oncological problems among the women in my district. It could be cervical cancer, it could be breast cancer, but there seems to be a pattern to this. So when we started looking at the data, and then there is another district called Mulugu, where we've also completed the pilot project. We started looking at the data, we started analyzing it, we realized that there are a lot of cardiological challenges there. So as a government, when you're planning 33 medical colleges, government medical colleges in each of the districts, what we ought to be doing now is start preparing for the future, start bracing for the future based on the data we have. So therefore, in my district in Sirsila, what we've decided is in the newly built medical college, we will be having a dedicated oncology unit where we will be focusing on all the oncological problems, which are already prevalent, and how do we prevent them going forward is something that will be a focus. So this sort of predictive healthcare planning is what we would love to accomplish, and leveraging AI, valuable data from electronic and medical health records, we can turn these insights into future healthcare strategies. On the other hand, genomics, database analytics also can aid in precision medicine, and we can design tailor-made treatments for patients, especially, like I said, in oncology. While technology is of course revolutionizing healthcare, and robots probably are going to take over surgeries at some point, at least the simple ones, I strongly believe that human element will always be central to the field of medicine and can't be replaced ever. Women in general are more compassionate, of course, sincere. The men are going to hate me for saying this, are more committed, and hence they of course make fantastic surgeons. Most importantly, women make up almost 50% of the workforce in the world. However, there is still adequate room for us to do better, as Dr. Reddy just pointed out. If in his hospital, with his progressive outlook, it's only 34.8% is what you mentioned. I think there is a lot of room to do better and increase participation and career advancement of women in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and most importantly, medicine. In the recent past, women scientists like Drs. Frances H. Arnold, Emmanuel Charpentier, Jennifer Doudna, among others, have been deservingly recognized with Nobel Prize for their pioneering work in the field of biomedical engineering and have really broken the glass ceiling. It is true that number of women doctors have been on the rise around the world. When compared to the last decade, there is a rise in the number of women pursuing medicine as students. In 2016-17, there was a spurt in the number of women pursuing postdoctoral medicine. However, it still remains a domain where there is a dearth of practicing female doctors in India. I see this with a sense of urgency. I say this with a sense of urgency to improve gender parity in the physician workforce, to improve the access to women physicians. Full and equal participation and leadership of women in medicine is instrumental for achieving gender equality and empowerment. Needless to say, women in leadership positions have proven to increase organizational productivity as well. Telangana is one of the very few states in India which has introduced gender equality into the curriculum towards positive change at a school education level. The number of women enrolling in degree programs in Telangana is rising steadily year after year. The fact that bachelor's in life sciences is amongst the top 3 popular undergraduate courses in Telangana is extremely encouraging and a testament also to our life sciences ecosystem. Also, it is extremely encouraging
to see that more than 42,000 plus admissions a year, which is a staggering 75% of women in life sciences, is incredible opportunity to create a strong workforce. This is a reflection not just of the aptitude of women to take up science, but also a support system within families that encourages them to take up this stream of life. There's a need, of course, to inculcate a culture of gender equality from early childhood, not only at homes, but also in schools and workplaces and universities as well. As per the latest NFHS, that is the National Family Health Survey report, our state has among the highest population of working women in India. But as we go forward, we must not get complacent, we must not relax. To further provide an impetus, we are also opening up a Telangana Women's University in our state, an exclusive university for women. Additionally, we have also set up a unique initiative known as V-Hub, encouraging women entrepreneurs to enable women from various sectors to start up and scale up by providing support in funding, mentoring, strategy, and for growth. In a nutshell, our constant endeavor to build an ecosystem for women across disciplines to excel and make an impact on the society. To conclude, I'd like to quote words of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Empowering women is a prerequisite for creating a good nation. When women are empowered, society with stability is assured. Empowerment of women is essential as their thoughts and their value systems lead to development of good family, good society, and ultimately a good nation. Government of Telangana will continue to undertake targeted initiatives to ensure and scale the participation of women in not only medicine but across different disciplines. I once again thank Dr. Reddy for this wonderful opportunity that he has given me to meet all of you. Thank you very much. Jai Telangana, Jai Hind.